10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast. We have a very eventful show tonight. We are excited to have a special guest, Mr. TJ Sykes. This is episode number 526 for y'all that's keeping up with this. That's 526 episodes. Guys, this has been amazing, a great run. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host. Y'all know him, Mr. Nathaniel Jones. We'll go ahead and get him brought in here.
What's going on, everybody?
That's
Glad
it.
to be here. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night, Ace.
Oh, yeah. All right. So let's, first and foremost, we can't go anywhere without thanking our sponsors. So if we can have that come across our screen. Anytime. Oh, all right. So the Wrestle Talk podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors. Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Production, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, owned by yours truly, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Now, guys, these are a great group of sponsors. We thank every one of them, and without them, this could not be possible. All right, so Mr. Jones, what do we got in store for today's show?
Well, we got a lot today. We got the high spot segment. We've got the Red Syre TJ Sykes. We got the game show challenge. But before we do anything, there's one thing we have to do, and that is honor the greatest country ever, and that's America, damn it. Play that music.
That's right.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
It gets me every time. It brings a tear to my eye, mainly because my ears are hurting. But hey, I mean, it has that effect.
Yeah, because your ears are hurting pretty much.
Yeah. Oh man, so Mr. Jones, how you been? I don't think I've ever hosted with you.
I have not. This has been the first time, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I've known Mr. Sykes for quite a while, so it's going to be a good interview. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully, Mr. Big Daddy P will be able to be on. We're not sure. But yeah, it's going to be a good show.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, so what's first on the list? You want to jump into some high spots, or you got something else you want to talk about?
Let's go ahead and start jumping into high spots. Hit that spinny thing.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a running speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, look like a barely fly. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast. now they know we about to start the show.
That went on a little longer than I thought it would, but hey.
Yeah, it went on. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and hit this randomizer and see what we come up with.
Ooh. Mr.
All
John.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. So what we got on the question for this one?
Who will
All
be
right.
Cena's last opponent? Ooh,
That is a good one.
that's
You want to start us off on this one?
I will. So I will tell you who I think it's going to be, but who I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be Brock Lesnar. I don't think that it needs to be Brock Lesnar's. That Brock Lesnar needs to be John Cena's last opponent. In my opinion, now there are so many more. There's so many opponents that could be John Cena's last opponent. The Miz, he had a feud with The Miz. I mean, there's so many more wrestlers. Maybe it could be AJ Styles, but I think, and this is just me, if there was anybody that could be John Cena's last opponent, there's only one person, and that was the person that he had one of his biggest feuds with, and that would be the RKO, Randy Orton. I think it's going to be Randy Orton. I think that's going to be John Cena's final match. They had back and forth matches throughout the years, and it makes sense for it to be Randy Orton. So I think it's either going to be Randy Orton or Brock Lesnar. That's just my opinion.
Actually, I 100% agree on that one. And every era has their what's up, Mr. Jimmy Harris Sr.? How you doing out there? And I agree definitely for the simple fact that it, just like you said, you have some of the biggest rivals in wrestling. So you have back when I was a kid, it was Ric Flair and Hogan. For every Flair, you have a Hogan. For every Hogan, you have a Flair. For the Attitude Era, it was The Rock and Austin. All right. For the more modern era, well, I mean, distant modern, but for that era, you had John Cena and you had Randy Orton. And I believe that they are The Rock and Austin, or Hogan and Flair of that era. And if anybody can just be, as far as that level of respect, let it be Randy Orton. And I hated the fact that they pulled the trigger on that so early in his retirement run. I believe they should have waited until the very last moment. But I'm like you. I don't want it to be Brock Lesnar. I really thought that was a waste of a match. I don't feel that that was close to how I would have booked that, but that's why we don't book it. I think there's something bigger with that coming, but whatever. I believe it should be Randy Orton. I really do. So if we got anybody in the back, I mean, man, they can get their opinions on it. But if not, hey, I mean, I agree with you on this one. Randy Orton.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. It just makes so much more sense for it to be Randy Orton, or maybe it could be The Miz. I mean, he hasn't faced The Miz yet, so maybe it could be.
Oh yeah. Okay, so if it's The Miz though, that would be once again another level of respect. Miz has reached that level where he's a coach in the locker room too. And you got to admit, they kind of use him when they just need somebody to fill in for petty matches. But for him to be the one to retire Cena, that would be a huge nod to not only his career, but his accomplishments. And a lot of people, they overlook The Miz. They're like, well, he's just a Miz. But you got to think of what this man's done and what he's accomplished. And he's beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Controversial, but he still won. A win's a win. So I think either Randy Orton or The Miz. I think that'd be two.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. We both agree that it's either going to be Randy Orton or it's going to be The Miz. So that's who we think is going to be John Cena's last opponent. There was one comment I saw that said Gunther. That would be an interesting match.
Yeah, but they would have to, I don't know, outside of just the tour, I don't really see how they would book that outside of being kind of just a one-off, which obviously because he's retiring, but they would have to have a storyline behind that and a great build. In a way, kind of like the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair retirement deal. It's coming, it's building, And even like the Shawn Michaels retirement deal. I don't think that if they would get, I don't think they would give it to Gunter. Honestly, that would be
Yeah.
kind of a waste. I think somebody that has a parallel legacy in a way needs to be the one to take him out.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our thoughts. Let's hit the randomizer one more time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what's the question that comes with this one? Because that's repeating it on the screen there. Oh well, high spot is Triple H failing as a booker, and how long before it takes a noticeable impact on the company and the stars? Ooh, Mr. Jones.
I'm gonna let you take that one first, and then I'll give my take on it.
I believe it's hit and miss. I believe there's a lot of things, and if you've ever been in the business, and you know you've been in the business, you've done stuff. There's a lot to do with booking and a lot of backstage stuff that the fans don't see. And as fans, we want it to be booked our way. And when it's not booked our way, we think they're failing as a booker. But you got to think, man, they're not hurting for money. They're booking arenas all over the world. They're making new, new deals, new contracts, new adventures. All over the world. So I don't feel that as a booker, he's necessarily failing. I believe that there are some very questionable decisions that he probably should think about because, prime example, like we've mentioned, in no form or fashion did that make sense for Brock Lesnar to go over on Cena like he did, especially his farewell tour. If Lesnar's not going to come in and actually have a bigger impact and stay in the company, which at this point, I don't think nobody really wants him there. I don't believe he serves a purpose, and he's already run his course. So the purpose of him coming in, doing John Cena that way was absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe that some of the wins should have happened. Now, that was a great call having Seth Rollins go over Cody Rhodes. But I believe that even Cody Rhodes, I think he has won some matches that I don't believe he should have won. So in a way, some of the booking has been questionable, but has it paid off in the long run? I guess some of that, yes, some of it, no. Prime example with Division, I don't believe that was a storyline that really played out the best intentions. So I don't think he necessarily fails as a booker, but I do believe that there are some things that he probably needs to listen to the fans a little more with. But as fans, I think we need to just trust the process.
I actually agree with you. There have been some questionable choices. Absolutely, the Brock Lesnar going over John Cena. But the thing about Triple H is that everything that he does, there's a bigger picture at the end of it. True. So everything he does, there's a bigger picture at the end of it. So we don't know what the bigger picture with Brock Lesnar is. But yeah, it's just I don't feel that he's failed as a booker. I feel that his booking style is different than what everybody else's would be. So they automatically assume that he's failing as a booker. It's just so I don't think he's failing as a booker. I think he's done, a good job of getting everybody, with the product. They're still making money. They're still, selling out venues. They're still selling tons of T-shirts and whatnot. So, I think that he's made some questionable choices, but as for a booker, I don't think that he's really failed as a booker.
I agree. I don't think he necessarily failed. I just think that I think there's some stuff that didn't quite plan out like he thought it would, and that happens with every business. I mean, and it happens. I've actually been a booker. I worked a little promotion here for a while, and there are some decisions you make as a booker, and you're like, okay, I think this is going to be a great storyline. It's going to go over well, and the fans don't receive it the way it plays out in your head. So that's one thing that we can't control. We really can't control the fan reaction,
Yeah, so. And a lot of people had an issue with the Vision group, and while I understood what the issue was, at the same time, the Vision wasn't built for Seth Rollins. The Vision was built for Braun Breaker and Braun Bronson. that is what the vision was actually built for, was to build them up, because without the vision, they wouldn't be where they are right now. Without the vision, Bon I can never remember his name. Bon Bronson. Yeah,
or Bron-
he wouldn't be considered the tribal thief. He would never have been the tribal thief if it wasn't for the vision. And Braun Breaker, he wouldn't be where he is with that. Well, I can't really say that because he was pretty successful before the vision. He was the IC champion or whatnot, but they'll build him up to be a world heavyweight champion contender, and he wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for the vision. So, sometimes it looks good and sometimes it doesn't look good.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so what do we got next on the randomizer here? That's good one. And what's the question that comes with it?
Thoughts on the Dudleys against Hardy's final match? As a fan of the Hardys and the Dudleys, I remember watching their TLC matches and their tables matches, and it was great to be able to watch it one final time. But you could definitely tell that this has to be the last match between them all. Like it was a great match. At times it was hard to watch. Especially the spot with Bubba went through the table, but it was everything that we needed it to be, and it was everything that it should have been as the final match, and especially with them giving the boots to the Hardys, which I don't even think that the Hardys knew that was going to happen. Because I've seen videos of Jeff, and he's like, what's going on? Like, he didn't know what was going on. Like, I don't think that they expected them to give them their boots. So, and that's a complete sign of respect. If you've been in the wrestling business, you've been in the wrestling business, so you would know that if somebody gets beat and they give that person their boots, that's a huge sign of respect.
Oh yeah, Mr. Lucha said, I saw the show and it was amazing to see them one final time. I agree. Let's see, it has to be the last match to getting too old. I definitely agree on that one.
Yep.
So what happens with, unfortunately, age, we get to where we cannot perform like we used to. I believe that this match was long overdue. It should have happened years ago. I'm glad we still got it when we did, but I believe that there was moments of the match to where you could definitely tell on both sides that they should have hung it up years ago. And I'm glad that the Dudleys don't really compete like they used to. The Hardys probably need to kind of, tone it down a little bit and start thinking about it themselves. That was a great way to go out, though. You couldn't have asked for any better, except for adding that one more tag team, and that would have been the dream match right there for this time frame. Is say somehow they'd have brought Edge and Christian. Now, if that door would have been open and that would have been just a one-off final match for all three, because let's be honest, the other two are getting very old right this minute, and they're not able to compete like they used to. I like watching both shows. I watch AEW sometimes too, and not as much. It's hard to follow their stories sometimes. They kind of remind you of the later years of WCW, but
they do.
Edge and Christian, they're still, for the most part, I think they could have added to that match. I don't think it would have been the extreme match it was back in 2000 and all that. But at the same time, I believe that it could have been a great match of, just them guys giving it that one last shot. So I believe that would have been an awesome farewell for all three guys. And it should have been for the Hardys as well. But as y'all know, they just won, I think, the TNA titles, the tag team titles.
The TNA and the NXT tag team champions.
Hardys and Dudleys definitely stole Bound for Glory. Yeah, I agree. There was some great matches, but I think just from nostalgia standpoint and the hype, knowing that these guys, regardless of their age, was going to go out there and give it their all, they were still pulling off some stuff that I'm not going to lie. Even at my age, I'm not going to try it. So I give them all the props in the world. I know what it's like. having to get back in there and hurting and trying to compete like you used to. And for them guys to still do it like that, oh yeah, huge props to them.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. 100%. You got to give props to them. It's the final time, and probably very soon the Hardys are going to be losing their tag team titles, and they're probably going to retire as well. I still would like to see the Hardys go to AEW and have one final match with Edge and Christian, and I think that would be the top. The Hardys against Edge and Christian one final time. We have to see it before both teams retire. 100%.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. If there was a way to open up that door and everybody just put ego aside and do what's best for business, I think that would be. And healthy competition is great, and I think a lot of people miss the point of the Monday Night Wars. Us that got to grow up watching it, it was awesome. But some of us was old enough to the territory days as well. We got to see some of that late '80s, early mid '80s kind of territory days, and so many different shows. You had AWA to NWA. You had WCW when it first got started. Down here, we had Mid-South Georgia Wrestling. We had, just so many different promotions to watch that were big name things on TV. And I loved it. And Ric Flair, think of Ric Flair. This man wrestled for every promotion you can think of.
He did.
He was champion in so many different promotions at the same time. And I believe that kind of not only built the stars, but it put those promotions, on the map a lot of times, because you're like, hey, this man's got the world champion, or this man's got the WWE champion. Which right now I think NWA reclaimed, if I'm not bad mistaken, the actual rights to call their title the real world heavyweight title. And rightfully so. I believe that for me, I'm excited for that. I really want to see NWA make a huge comeback and be like the powerhouse that it was back then. So that, I think, if done right and booked right and with the right promotion, oh man, I think they would give WWE a run for it any day. So with the stars they have, there are some big name stars. There's guys that have been there, done that, plus some new guys that are overlooked. But they would be a big thing. And I think if they was to have some kind of big collaboration with some of these other promotions, oh, man, that would be awesome. And some of the dream matches we'd be able to see, oh, man. Look how long it took to bring Sting into WWE. And we missed. We will never get a chance to see Sting and Undertaker.
Yeah.
So I believe that was a huge opportunity. And prime example, Ric Flair and Hogan. As many times as we watched them wrestle, we never got to see them at WrestleMania together. So I believe that there's so many different reasons to open that door and have these dream matches, even if it's just a one-off and then, hey, shut the door again. But just for those particular moments, man, go for it. It's all about money again, and that would do both businesses a huge amount of money. So, hey, I'll tell.
Exactly. I agree. All right, but let's hit this randomizer again and see what we got this time.
A little slow on the randomizer there.
Okay, CM Punk.
Yeah.
We got CM Punk.
Our high spots is working off of Cook County education, so it's a little slow. All right, high spot. Oh, okay.
Will we see another undeserving world title win that could be used to push a younger talent?
I'll let you do this one because I got a lot to say on this one.
I think that from the rumors that I've heard, now this is just from what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that Seth Rollins is injured once again, and he might have to relinquish the world title. He got injured in the Crown Jewel match. If that is the case, I could see them having CM Punk as the heavyweight champion and then end up losing that title to Braun Breaker, because I really think that they want to put that title on Braun Breaker. I think that Braun Breaker is the guy that they want to put that heavyweight championship in. And if you notice, when he left, he even left Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins championship.
Oh yeah,
I think he did. I know that he had it in his hands, so
Yeah.
he's definitely saying he's coming after that title. So I think that is what they had to set up, and maybe that's why they even did they pulled the trigger on the Vision breakup. You know, maybe that's why, because of Seth Rollins' injury. So, do I necessarily want to see CM Punk as a heavyweight champion? Not really. I don't think he really needs it. I think he's had enough opportunities and he hasn't been able to accomplish those opportunities. You know, and I don't really think he needs another title because, you know, he's already won it multiple times, so he doesn't really need it. But I think that they're going to end up putting it on him just so that he can drop it to Braun Breaker.
You know, I kind of see that happening, but I'm completely against it, and this is why. For one, everybody knows I'm not a fan of CM Punk. As a person, as a wrestler, I'm just not. I'm not a fan of the guy, honestly. He had like one horror movie. I like his acting. Don't get me wrong. There was a movie he was in that was a pretty decent movie. He's a good actor. I give him all the props for that. But that's the problem, though. With him, there's a lot of acting even in person. So it's hard to tell if he's really screwing him over backstage and being a little diva, or if he's really legit about trying to turn that new leaf. All that aside, I don't believe that would be the right thing to do, is put the belt on him, even if it is just to drop it to somebody else. They did that for Seth Rollins to cash in. In all honesty, I don't really feel that was the right move either. I think it was kind of pointless for him to win it seconds later just to lose it to Seth Rollins. I believe that Rollins should have, if it was just, you know, from my standpoint and me booking it, I would have had Rollins come in and cash it on Gunther and rob CM Punk completely of that chance to win it instead of just taking it from him. Because honestly, that storyline has dragged out for so long. It's boring. Them two are going back and forth. Nobody really wants to see CM Punk and Seth Rollins again. And if CM Punk wins it, especially with the rumors, like we know that Seth Rollins is injured, and if he gives up that title, I really don't feel that it needs to go to CM Punk. I believe that in a way, this is how I see this going. If anybody needs to take it, it should be LA Knight. I believe LA Knight should be the one. They should finally pull the trigger, put it on him, and then have a big lead-up feud between LA Knight and Braun Breaker. And the reason why I say that is because you get a chance to put somebody who has put just as much work, if not more, than a lot of the stars in LA Knight. Give him the belt that like he deserves. Have that feud between him and Braun Breaker, and have Braun Breaker take it off of LA Knight. And that to me would actually be just the ultimate, you know, turnaround for even Braun Breaker. You know, taking it off of CM Punk. I mean, let's be honest, he's an old guy at this point. You know, and I don't really feel he should have won that match to start with to even get to a title shot in the deal. I mean, he was going against Jey Uso and all, and that buries Jey Uso. I don't like what they're doing with him. I don't like the fact that they're steady giving, you know, LA Knight these title shots and then not pulling the trigger and actually giving him a title. And everybody knows he was trying to go for it. So I say put it on LA Knight, have Braun Breaker take it off of LA Knight. That way it puts them two on that level of just a whole different picture going forward. Instead, and so many different opportunities. Think about the opportunities it opens up for, you know, other wrestlers. Jey Uso can go LA Knight, you know, just one-on-one, or even Jey Uso against Braun Breaker. Just different storylines come and taking CM Punk completely out of it. Because to me, it would be almost as pointless as that whole match where he wins it and then Seth Rollins cashes in. You know, why put it back on him just for him to turn around and lose it again? It don't make sense. So that's kind of my views on that one.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree, you know, and you are totally in your opinion to not like CM Punk. I happen to like CM Punk, and then that's okay. We can have a difference of opinions when it comes to professional wrestling.
So I think we have Mr. TJ backstage. You want to do the honors of trying to bring him on?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor to bring on a gentleman that I have known for many years. I consider him a good friend in the business, outside of the business. The man has won championships everywhere that you could possibly think of. And ladies and gentlemen, the Red Syre TJ Sykes.
I feel like Joe could do that a lot better.
I mean,
And honestly, I don't understand why Joe was doing it anyway. I think Ace should be the one to do it. I believe in his ability. I feel like I've just met him, and I already believe him more than Joe over here. So honestly,
Right.
it could just be an interview with yourself and me, Ace. So you can just block Joe out of this if you want to.
Let's do this the right way. Let's bring this
The right
man,
way.
multi-time champion in all promotions, worldwide known, the Red Syre, Mr. TJ Sykes himself, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all give a big round of applause for this man.
Do you see how an actual professional does it, Joe? I don't know. I don't know if you have a notepad or something around that.
That's people cheering for you.
Whoa,
That's
whoa.
that's people clapping for
That was
you.
people. My goodness! Like it just seems like that's the sound that I hear anytime Joe talks.
Now, Mr. TJ, this is my first time meeting you, so I'm excited and I'm curious. I want to know about you. So, what is your story? What got you into wrestling, and what is your passion? Like, what started that fire with wrestling?
So the journey probably begins back in somewhere around 1996, 1997. Do you remember the old TV Guide channel from way back in the day, like that would scroll up slowly and you get like those commercials at the very top? Was scrolling that when I was a kid, and the first thing I saw was a commercial for, I believe it was Nitro, WCW Nitro, and one of the first things I saw was Hollywood Hogan holding the big gold belt, saying, "This is where the power lies," and all this explosions and everything going on behind him, and I was just hooked immediately as a kid. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it looks absolutely amazing, and I could not take my eyes off the TV from that day on.
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome, and that's a great way to get hooked. That man had an impact, regardless of personal stuff. A lot of people, especially us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, we felt the same way. I mean, seeing him on TV with that belt had us hooked. So what was
I never saw the red and yellow version. I never saw Hogan red and gold or red and yellow. I always knew him as Hollywood Hogan. So
man,
black and white all the way.
Hey, that was a good era too. Now, but me, I grew up with the Flair Hogan era back when he was Hulkamania. You know.
I understand.
So what's your as far as your first real experience, like in the ring, and just that feeling of just, okay, this is what I want to do. How was that for you? You know, and what was that like, and where was it at? Just be asking, you know, what promotion, if you're allowed to talk on that promotion, and what was that experience like? You know,
well, it was so it was in Winchester, Virginia, and it was under a place called All Premier Wrestling, and it wasn't open very long. And well, when I got there, and the first experience that I had, honestly, was painful, absolutely painful. So, like, I feel like a lot of people who just begin training understand like those first couple bumps do not feel good whatsoever. But it was eye-opening at the same time because it just felt like, all right, this is real to me, regardless of it being predetermined and everything. This is going to be something I'm gonna have to work at, and something I'm gonna have to dedicate everything that I have to it. And I haven't stopped for the past 16 some odd years here.
that's awesome. Joe, you got any questions? I know I'm taking up all the time asking questions here.
I absolutely.
He doesn't. I don't really feel like I should be answering any of Joe's questions right now.
Fair
and
enough.
the fact of like him talking right now is like nails on a chalkboard in my ear, and I'm having these really good headsets on right now. Like, so they pick up every little thing. I can hear you breathing, Joe. Why are you breathing so loudly?
Can I ask my
Don't
question?
no, don't look over there. Don't look left or right. You look at me. You tell me why are you breathing so loudly?
Ask my questions now.
Is it a good one?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Is it better than Ace?
I always have good questions. So
Yeah, I don't believe you. Ace, does he have really good questions?
Well, we put up with him in the FWWC, so he manages. But I'm kind of curious on what he's got to ask at the moment. So let's
So
kind
my
of.
number.
All right. For you, Ace, I'll listen to this. What do you got to
Okay.
say, Joe?
So what I would like to know is you were number 491 in the PWI 500. How does it feel to be accomplished to see your name in a book of 500 of probably the best wrestlers in the world? Like being like, how does that like what was your reaction when you saw that? And I know that you've been in the PWI 500 a couple times. So
Well, this is actually my second time. Last year was the first time I was able to be a part of the PWI 500 itself, and I'll say last year, I didn't know. I stopped probably trying to get into the 500 maybe about 8 years ago, and I just kind of let it ride. I'm just gonna do my thing and just see where it takes me. And getting a few messages from people the day that it happened saying congratulations and me not understanding what the congratulations was for. I'm like, what did I do? And then someone sends me the article. I'll be honest, I got choked up because it's one of those things where it's so long I've been grinding, and to finally be recognized in some way, shape, or form in a big way, like in the list of 500 of the best wrestlers in the world, like that means a lot to me, and it just shows me that like what I'm doing has meant something, and that I've made some sort of impact, at least enough to get me on that list. And like it was an honor, and it's an honor the same way this year as well. Like just moving up the list a little bit. So hopefully I can do the same thing next year. It's not going to be something that's going to be normal to me,
mhm.
and I'm always going to feel. I want to feel some sort of way. I want to feel a lot of emotions, but you know me, Joe. I don't like showing emotions. Come on now. I try to keep it contained inside me here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my next question is: not only were you ranked in the PWI 500, but you were ranked 377 in the BW 500. Now, what is exactly is the BW 500, and what does it mean for you to be ranked that high in the BW 500?
Oh, the BW 500 is the best black African American wrestlers
Okay.
in the world, and just being on that list, no matter where I could have been 500, and I'm like, this just once again, just like PWI, it's flattering. I feel great sense of pride with it, and just being amongst all those great performers who go out there and just bust their tails like day in and day out just to get that recognition. Like it means a lot to me.
Absolutely, as it absolutely should. My last question before I send it back to Ace is: you were involved in the wrestling promotion EWA in Maryland,
Hmm. I know
and
where this is going.
yes, there
Hmm.
is a video of
Hmm.
you kicking a gentleman in a wheelchair. Uh, can you explain your actions at that moment
Fall
of
for that.
why you would kick a defenseless person like that
Don't
in a
answer that.
wheelchair?
Well, Joe, in this life, you got choices to make, and I on that day gave him a choice: stand up and get out of the ring and get out of harm's way, or harm's gonna find him. Guess what he chose, Joe? Guess what he chose?
He couldn't stand up.
Okay, there's metaphorically standing. I mean, my thing is, if you have a mouth and you are going to run it to somebody that can kick your ass, you deserve to be kicked in the face. That's just how I feel about it. Whether if you're
I just met Ace, and I really like him right now. Honestly, this is his podcast now. I I'm sorry. Is your name Nightmare Jones? on there, Joe? What?
Yes.
I mean, you've been my nightmare for quite some time, so
I
I
know.
I kind of understand the name. But no,
Yes.
Ace is right. You want to run your mouth? I mean, like, well, you either get a back
Consequence.
fist or you get a super kick in the face. Consequences, choices,
That-
Joe.
Now, was that the start of the Red Syre TJ Sykes, or was it?
That was definitely the early stages of what it's become. Like, because I was still forming who I was going to be, like, on that night. So that was the night, if we can break the walls down a little bit, that was the first night that I was full blown heel bad guy. And I'm still navigating the waters at that point in time of what I want to do with this. But that was definitely the start of what you see today. And I
Definitely.
haven't looked back, no. I would do it again. If you, Joe, I want you to know, I want you to go to sleep tonight in peace, knowing that if you were in a wheelchair, I would kick you too. I just want you to know
Ace, I'm gonna leave it to you. Go ahead.
I gotta agree though, and I've been in situations like that, and just pulling the curtain back, just a little, like he said, when you're in that position and you have a choice, okay, if I'm going to get fully into this character and I'm fully going to play a heel, you have to know that there are times where there are no boundaries. And I know that people's like, oh no, you got to have boundaries. Well, no, I mean, there's a difference between getting booed by the fan. If you suck, like if you go out there and you just flat suck at what you do, they're going to boo you. But there's a difference between sucking at what you do and really getting the fans to hate you and hate your character. And in order to do that, you have to do more than just walk out there. And I know we've all been to the shows where the bad guy, he comes out of the hill and he just points at the crowd and he talks a little smack. Okay, yeah, whatever, that's overplayed. But you have to really think, how am I going to get this crowd to hate me? How am I going to get this crowd to really step up their game and believe that I am exactly what I come out here and say I am? So in order to do that, yeah, take it a step further. Kick somebody in a wheelchair. Kick a crutch out from up under somebody. I've literally snatched a drink out of a kid's hand and dumped it on him and walked off. I mean, just stuff like that. You got to do it. You got to be able to cross boundaries. And people are scared that the fans are going to react in a way that is, oh, well, they're going to hate me for it, or they're going to do this. Well, that's the point. That is the point of it. You want the fans' reaction. You want them to want to jump in that ring and physically harm you. So if you're going to be a heel, go all out with it, man. No boundaries. Anyway, that's just my advice on that. So my next question, and it goes back to being on the list, and it goes back to what you said as far as when you kind of kicked back and you stopped really, not saying you didn't care so much, but when you just started really having fun with it. Is that when you noticed that did you feel more accomplished, just kind of having more fun with it than when we first start and you're like, okay, this is my goals. You're grinding, you're pushing. Is it more enjoyable now, just kicking back and enjoying it and just having fun with it and seeing the fruits of that compared to that early grind?
honestly, like they both have. I've loved the entire ride. I've been doing this, like I've been blessed to be doing this for about 16 years now, and I've enjoyed every step of the way. Of course, you're gonna have your ups and downs and like your very low times, but at the end of it all, like I thoroughly enjoy this. I love this. So I love the process of figuring things out. I love the process of like figure out who is the Red Syre, who's TJ Sykes, and I believe like in those beginning stages of the EWA incident, it was fun then because it was very new. This was the first time I've turned to the dark side, if you will, and having to go from one of the most beloved good guys of that company to the most despicable heel. I'm like, all right, how do I navigate these waters? What do I do? What do I pull from? Like, how do I get these fans month after month to just hate me more and more? So like, I love the creative process of that. And I would have to say like the company that I work for, Flying V out of Maryland, like really helped me truly discover who the Red Syre is. And they're more of a kind of theater wrestling, if you will. It's more performance based than just wrestling, and just being able to have maybe more mic time or like tell a broader story. It's not all just about the action in the ring and whatnot is like, what do you do? Like those in between moments of moves and everything. So I believe that's what I really started to like kick it into another gear and like find out who I am. And once you find out who you are, everything else is easy. It doesn't mean I'm not going to stop grinding and do what I do, but like it just becomes kind of easy work now.
Oh, definitely. Let's see. You mean the Timu Princess? Well, he's always talking smack. Little Hoss, gotta love him.
John Haas.
I know it. Gotta love
Timu Princess. I mean, like, what are you doing on Timu? Clearly, you shop there. Clearly, like you're looking for something, and like you can't find something on Timu, so you look to me. You look to your sire. So you know what? You're welcome for giving you a purpose in life.
There you go. I mean,
Joe, you're welcome too.
if you can't afford it, shop Timo. That So some struggles. Now you mentioned the grind. You mentioned that. So what are some of your biggest obstacles that you're proud of overcoming? And I know that's just if you're comfortable talking about it, stuff that you've overcome that you've just more than anything else, all the titles, all the accomplishments, stuff that you've achieved personally with this career that you're saying, hey, you know what, this was top of the line. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I overcome it. What's some of that, if you don't mind sharing?
A lot of the stuff in my early years, like the stuff that I had to overcome, and you hear it from almost everybody who's been through this business industry, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's a lot of guys who would like to do, as they call, backstage politics. And even though you may be seen a certain way in front of the fans, maybe selling T-shirts, maybe like you're the popular person, if you have it in with whoever's in the management, whatever, like you'll probably still get that spot. So being able to be undeniable, regardless of like what's going on backstage, was definitely in the early years something that I had to overcome. And sometimes, if it just was one of those lost causes, it's time to move on. See where like what other place could find value in me. But that's always been like a constant struggle, like throughout everything. Not as much now, just because I really don't care about what happens back there. Like I'm out there performing for the people. So if this is my role, then this is my role. But there's definitely other struggles in the sense of not becoming stale, evolving the character that I've molded for the past couple years. Like, what do I do to take it to the next level? I mean, it's still in that idea of like I love the creative process, but I definitely get writer's block a good bit of like where do I go from here? What do I do next? How do I keep people still engaged and like enjoying what I do or not enjoying what I do if that's the case? But those are the real struggles like that still happen today. But honestly, I look at it as if I can overcome one, I can overcome them all. So I just keep on going.
Definitely. That's the best way to look at it. So now, as far as from here on, and obviously, no plans on quitting no time soon. We hope to see you way on, later on. When that time comes, do you plan on being like a role model, like a teacher, as far as backstage, or even a manager? Do you plan on staying in the business when you hang it up the boots in the ring? Because a lot of stars do that. And I see a lot where they hang it up, but they're backstage, they're still involved. And because wrestling it's a way of life. It's not just something you do for a while and then stop. So is that something you plan on doing, or something you maybe have thought to, being a manager, opening your own promotion, just anything like that?
Ooh, that is a good question. I haven't really thought about that, but the idea of being a manager does sound pretty cool to me. I look at guys like Paul Heyman, like to an extent, even though like he still hops in the ring every so often, an MVP of the Hurt Syndicate. Like there's a Bobby Heenan. There's so many guys. I'm like I could transfer over to that, like maybe after everything's said and done. But it's not really something that's crossed my mind. But I'm not opposed to any of that whatsoever. Maybe the opening my own promotion thing might be a little much. Like that's a headache that I don't need.
Oh, yeah. So what's left as far as your accomplishments? What is one goal right now that you still maybe have just got your eyes on, or something new that may have come up that you're like, you know what, I've got to achieve it before everything's said and done. This is something I want to accomplish and get done before the time's over with. So what's that goal for you?
honestly, like my number one goal of like what I love to do is like just traveling around like the U.S., traveling outside of the country and whatnot. And like my end goal has always been getting to Japan. So that is really my number one goal, one way or the other. I've been blessed to leave the country a few times from England, Canada, and whatnot. And there's still a few other countries I would love to go to and have an opportunity to perform in front of that fan base. But Japan is definitely the number one on my list of things to do.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That's a dream right there. Um,
Mhm.
Looking back so far, what's one of your favorite memories in the ring? We all have just one moment, just whether it's funny, embarrassing, just whatever. What's one of your favorite memories so far you've had? Because this, man, I'm telling you, it's funny. Mine, and I'll go ahead and share mine real quick. It was a little embarrassing.
Okay.
Mine, again, was in the ring with a guy that was way bigger than me. They had the idea to say, hey, end the show by throwing him on your shoulders and doing like this whole John Cena thing where you overpower him and throw him down. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 5'7". I was 180 pounds, and this guy was like 280 something. So I get him on my shoulders, and my knees buckle, and we both hit the ground, and he lands on top of me. So we basically had to like fake the whole rollover to where I'm pinning this guy.
Okay.
And it was hilarious. It was something. The crowd ate it up. They didn't see it, but me and him both, like when he landed, I mean, he landed on me. I'm out of air, took the wind out of me. And it was a funny moment that I'll never forget. But we just got backstage and just lost it, couldn't stop laughing, you know. So, what's that moment you're not going to forget, you know?
Oh. There's a lot. It could span from like funny moments to like unexpected really good matches. Like you go in like, okay, this is gonna be good, but then like just things just start clicking. Like, oh, this is actually really working. There's a lot of moments that I could pick from, but I will give probably the first time I got chills over doing something in the ring. So this was actually just a couple months, the beginning of this year actually. I was facing a man named Miles Millennium at Flying V, and like I said earlier, it's this the crowd at Flying V is more theater theater based. So like they are wrestling fans, but they're theater kids. Like just the way that this whole thing is set up. So the idea with this, like I was defending my title, and we wanted to do more of a story than just match than anything else because we had about 10 minutes to play with. So midway through the match, we talked about doing this injury angle, and we know how injury angles go. People just kind of rush through it. People just think like, oh, he's faking whatever, and like they get to the finish. I specifically like plotted out like, no, we have to make this as real as humanly possible. Whether it's me kicking and screaming in the ring, just like having that moment, like we need to let those people go through those emotions of like, he's faking it. He might be a little bit banged up, but he's fine. Oh, maybe he actually is hurt. Oh snap, he's actually hurt. I want them to go through every single one of those emotions because I know once we get to that one point and we bring it home, they're gonna lose their minds. So we do the injury angle. I injured my knee or something like that, and I'm selling. I'm down. The ref's coming to me. I'm telling him I'm hurt. Miles comes over. I'm apologizing to him. People can hear me talking to him, telling him I'm sorry, I can't continue. Like I'm doing that whole thing, and I hear the whispers in the crowd. I hear they're talking about he's faking. It's all a work. It's all this, all that. And I'm not breaking it. I'm just keep on going. I'm like if this takes 3 minutes, this takes 3 minutes. We got to that point of like dead silence of like everyone's now concerned, and I'm like, here's the moment. They go to raise his hand. I pop back up. I lock him in for a hold. I hold it there for a second, just for everyone to see that I'm okay. They lose their absolute minds. I slam them down, and like I see people standing in anger, and like I can just feel chills going down my back, chills going down my arms. I'm like, we have like, and there's a picture that's floating around somewhere on my Facebook or Instagram of that the exact moment, and it's kind of a wild picture because like my eyes are just like lit up because I was like excited because it worked. But that is one that I will still remember. We got to the back after everything, and this is the first time I've ever really worked with Miles. I've had a few run-ins with him. Like we've talked here and there, nothing serious. Like we were overjoyed over it. So it was like a weird bonding moment as well. Like just something that worked and like it just went off without a hitch. So that's probably my number one for the year at least.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like that rush of a crowd, man. It's
Mhm.
I never got really big time with it. I love the little crowds we had, but just even if it's a small crowd, just that rush and that cheer, that
Mhm.
reaction, and then it's well worth
Mhm.
it. Even if you don't pull it off exactly how you think you should, or it goes a little sideways, just that reaction is all worth it. So,
Mhm.
like, Mr. Jones, if Mr. Sykes here don't mind sticking around for just a sec, you want to get him in on
Of
the next
course.
do we have another hot spots ready?
Yeah, we can do high spots.
All right,
Randomize.
we'll get him in on some opinions. We're gonna pick his brain on some of these scenarios here we got going on.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry, Joe. I forgot you were here.
Did you? I'm sure that you did. Why do
I
you
forgot.
hate
I'm
me?
so sorry.
I've always been
Because
nice
So,
to you.
because your head glistens in the
I've
sun, Joe.
always been nice to you, TJ. I've never been
You
mean to you.
you look
that's why
like
I
the
keep it happy.
real version of you look like the real version of Dr. Robotnik from Sonic.
Oh God, come on.
You know what? That's gonna
Baby.
stick from now on, man. You can't unsee that. Here's a randomizer. It's a little late. When's it gonna pop up? All
Andrade.
right, backstage, you're slacking. Where's it at? Oh, there. Ooh. Okay, so what we got with Andrade? High spots. Andrade leaves WWE and reappeared in AEW again, yet is now off their roster as well. Thoughts on whether another promotion will pick, I guess, sign him, or is he done? Oh, well, that's a good one. You want to, Mr. Sykes, we'll give you the floor. What's your opinion on Andrade and what's going on with him right this minute?
It seems like he's kind of all over the place a little bit, but I don't think he's done. Like I don't believe that for one second. I'm pretty sure someone else will pick him up.
Mhm.
Well, that's news to me. Like that's another thing. Like some of these things I don't actually like watch or listen to or anything like that in the sense of like you don't know until it's in your face. So if this is something that's going on, he is one hell of a talent, and I know somebody will pick him up like elsewhere if he is done in AEW again. But that's one of those things we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. If he is done in AEW, somebody is going to end up picking him up because he's one hell of a talent, and everybody would be lucky to have him. So I mean, you won't see him in WWE again, and if he's gone in AEW, then you probably won't see him back there again. But he could pop up any other places.
TNA. It's
In
TNA.
yeah, TNA, one of the Mexico wrestling promotions.
New Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Ace, what are your thoughts?
I think he's a great talent. I believe that if he can straighten up whatever he's got going on backstage, and I believe that's where a lot of major talent, and these guys they're gifted. And Andrade is one of those that's got a special talent, but he lets backstage stuff ruin a lot of opportunities for him. And I don't know exactly what the whole story was. They never really released it. There was several rumors of why he left WWE or got booted. Right now, he's completely taken off the roster at AEW after making a surprise appearance. So I don't really know what the whole story is with that. They've taken him off the roster. So if he's gone from AEW, I would love to see him somewhere else, but I want to see a healthy version of Andrade. And it's much like Jeff Hardy back in the day. Jeff Hardy was all over the place, but let's be honest, his personal demons stopped him from being used in a way to really worked with his talents. And I believe Andrade is kind of the same way. Whatever he's got going on, get it fixed and then trying to put your foot back in the door at one of these bigger promotions. If not, you're going to wind up just getting lost in the shuffle. And regardless of where he turns out, people's really not going to pay that much mind to him. He's going to be kind of like Matt Riddle from here on out, you know. And let's be honest, he's kind of a joke. Great talent, but just the stuff he's doing, I mean, it's ridiculous. So maybe he'll get it together, and we'll see him back in AEW at least.
I agree. So TJ, I wanted to talk about the SWA. The last show was a phenomenal show. They had Cheeseburger there. It was a great show. The next show is going to have Super Crazy. So it's going to be an absolutely amazing show. So I would like for you to tell the fans about the SWA and why they should come see the SWA. Not just because you're there, but why
you're handcuffing me, Joe.
Why
you're giving me limits, Joe.
Yes, why the fans should come see the SWA.
Hey, the Red Syre does not have limits, Joe. He doesn't have restrictions, and you're trying to handcuff me now.
I'm not handcuffed.
I mean, it would be very easy. Why are you coming? Are you coming, Joe?
Of course I'm going to be there.
Okay, so why are you going to be there, Joe? Why on November 1st at SWA's 20th anniversary are you going to be there?
Because I wouldn't miss it for the world. Like the last SWA show was,
is it because it's Super Crazy?
Was my first show, and it was an absolute amazing time, and I had a lot of fun. So why wouldn't I want to go again?
Are you coming for Super Crazy?
I mean, Super Crazy is a reason, but that's not the
are you coming? Are you coming for the main event where it's Red Dog versus Andino for the SWA Crown Championship? Are you coming for that match?
That sounds to be a really good.
Are you coming for the 6-person tag match between Country Club, LK, and Haas Haygood, along with Danny DeVille, daughter of Jake Davis, taking on Harleen Lopez and the SWA Tag Team Champions Pure Ignorance? Are you coming for that match?
Sure.
Or is it, Joe? Just bear with me here. Is it because TJ Sykes is facing Comet MK for the SWA Mid-Atlantic Championship? Is it because of that? Because my face is on the poster, my name is attached to the SWA. Is that why you're coming? Is that why everyone should come November 1st at Green Grove Gardens to SWA's 20th anniversary? Is that why they should do it, Joe?
They should come because it sounds like a really fun show to go see.
Sounds? You can make every sound in the world, Joe. No, you need to come there November 1st, SWA's Green Grove Gardens, to the SWA 20th anniversary. You need to come there. You need to see it, not just hear about it, not just talk about it. You need to be there for that, Joe. And I need you, Joe, to tell everyone to do so. Because your voice needs to be heard. Not by me, but everyone else. Right, Ace?
That's it. TJ said Susie said she's coming for TJ's match. You know, he's got a point now. That is all the reason to show up is for this man's match. His face is on the poster. And let's be honest, who's on the Wrestle Talk podcast right now? Not them other people he listed, but this man right here. So if you're going to go, this man is the reason to go. That is the reason to be there and see this man go ahead and just dominate the show. I got all the faith in the world for you. I'm pulling for you. I may not be able to travel how many ever hundreds of miles that is to get there, but I got you. I'll watch you.
Thank you. Where are you at right now, Ace? Where are you coming from?
I'm in South Georgia, a little old town called Tifton.
All right.
Good old South Georgia.
Is Joe banned there?
Well,
I'm not really sure.
I can go to Georgia. I'm not banned from going to any of the 50 states.
As far as you know, Joe.
Okay, I'm allowed more around Alabama anymore. There was an incident when I got lost in Alabama, but that's another story. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't want to do is get lost in Alabama.
All right, TJ. So
I didn't either. We took a long time back from New Orleans.
I have one more thing that I want to do, and then we're going to get into a game show challenge. So,
oh boy,
I want you to say a name, and I want you to give me your thoughts of this gentleman. It's a gentleman that you and I both have known very, very well, and that is the Wild Man Robbie Page.
Hate him. Absolutely hate him.
Now, come
For,
on.
for, the, for this specific podcast, if you were asking the Red Syre TJ Sykes what he thinks about Wildman Robbie Page, he's going to tell you straight up, he's a terrible person. I hate him. Can't stand him. Can't stand the ground that he walks on. Can't stand the air that he breathes. But if you're asking the man outside of the Red Syre, he's an amazing person. He's an amazing person. He's a loving father, and I think he is one of the best mentors I've ever had in this business. That is what I can give you about Robbie Page, Joe.
Okay, and I could not agree more. I could not agree more. I would not be
You
in
can't.
wrestling
You
business
can't agree.
today.
Yes, you can't. You can't agree more than me, Joe. You can't agree more than me.
I would not be in the wrestling business today if it was not for Robbie Page.
Mm.
He was a great teacher.
Man,
A great.
you see what we do with here? Jeez, man, every week with this guy.
I mean, like,
all right, so we
can go back. We can go back to what I said earlier. Like I said, life is all about choices. Ace, you have a choice to do this thing with Joe. You can do it by yourself. You are fully capable of doing this. This podcast could just be yours.
Well, I actually do a show, just throwing it out there. I do a show called the FWWC Tonight that will start premiering on Thursday nights later this month. We are actually working out of a studio, trying to get everything worked out, and it's not going to be a podcast. I plugged it as an actual, think of the late night show, like Jay Leno, Tosh Point, that kind of thing. But it's going to be a comedy twist.
That's such a gap. That's such a gap of Jay Leno and Tosh Point. That is such a just a
yeah. think of Tosh Point with a late night show. We'll do it that way. I couldn't think of any other examples. I was like, well, you know. All right, so y'all ready for the game show here?
Yes.
Y'all ready? You ready, Joe?
All right, Nathan you, Jones, TJ, and some wrestling trivia. So
wrestling trivia.
So
all right.
You might win. You might not win.
Well, I mean, nobody gonna win if you don't hush for a minute. No, I'm just playing. Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenger Tonight. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3. Features Nightmare Jones, Joe Lance taking on the Red Syre, Mr. TJ Sykes. Tonight's game show challenge category is famous wrestling nicknames. I'll give you the nicknames of 3 famous professional wrestling personalities. When you think you know the answer, just shout it out. The first person to win 2 out of 3 falls wins. Now, the first question. The Beast from the East.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Who was Bam Bam Bigelow.
Mr. TJ got it. Quick on the draw there. All right. Well, come on, man. If y'all get this wrong, the man of 1,000 holds.
Dean Malenko.
All right, so you're 1 for 1. You're 1 for 1. All right.
Oh no! Oh come on! I lagged a little bit. My video lagged. That is not fair. The connection is off. But you know what, Joe? Like just because you need a win in life, you can have that one, Joe.
Okay.
All right. The gold standard.
Joe Benjamin.
All right. So we have a winner. 2 out of 3. The winner of the game show tonight.
Cry about it, Joe. Cry. I want to see you in anguish, Joe. Cry about it. Cry about it. Cry about it. Why do you have to lose? Because you're not better than me, Joe.
He's a winner inside and outside the ring. Even on the podcast, this man is on a streak. And he's going to keep it going coming up on that show. All right. So, guys, that was the game show challenge. What else we got, Mr. Jones?
TJ, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Even though
don't lie to me, Joe.
You give me a hard time. It has been an absolute pleasure, and it is always a pleasure working with you. I consider you a really good friend. So thank you for
life is hard, Joe. Life is hard, Joe. Life is hard, Joe, and I'm just here to make your life a lot harder. And you are, I can absolutely say, without a shadow of a doubt, a very adequate human being.
Adequate human being. Well, I appreciate that. Mr. Ace, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, going forward, what is some advice? If you was to give any piece of advice to the up and coming talent, guys that's wanting to break into the business, guys that have reached a spot in their career where they need something fresh and that motivation, what's your thoughts to these guys, and what would you want to leave as far as just their, I guess, motivation for new guys, guys that's has reached that spot where some of us had at one time, where you reach that writer's block where you don't know what to do. What would you tell these guys?
The best advice that I've gotten, and there's quite a few quotes I can think of right now, but the number one that comes to mind is when I have the writer's block or I'm getting frustrated is stay the course. Keep going. Don't get frustrated. Like keep going. It's all a part of this. Just keep on moving forward. That's all you can do. Don't go backwards. Don't go side to side. Go forwards. Always forward.
Oh,
All right.
Except for you. Except for you, Joan. You can go backwards.
Why do you hate me?
Consider this tough love. How's that? Will that help you sleep at night?
Tough love.
Tough love.
Oh,
Tough love. The fact that sit down, Joe, sit down, please. There's not an area that I want to see. Sit down.
So and that's some great advice for your fans and people that want to be fans that want to follow you. What's your? Do you mind shouting out your social media and where you can be seen and reached and
Absolutely,
build that fan base?
Absolutely. From X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, to Instagram, to Facebook, you can look under at the Red Syre. Also on YouTube to check out my matches that I post up on there like every other week or so. And also follow. I would have to say follow the Summit Wrestling Pro on all socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, everything, as we get ready for the SWA 20th anniversary at Green Grove Gardens on November 1st, featuring Super Crazy and yours truly, the Red Syre TJ Sykes. The reason why every single person should be coming, including Joe Lance or Nightmare Jones or the Living Nightmare. I'm not sure what his nickname is, but you understand.
All right, guys, y'all heard it. That's where you reach this man. And I'm telling you, I'm already a fan. I just met him, and we invite you anytime. Shoot over to the FWWC. Check us out over there if you're not familiar with it.
Absolutely.
It is a fantasy wrestling promotion. We would love to have you just cut some promos with us sometime, even compete one day.
Absolutely.
If there's a up and oh yeah, just if there's an event coming up, man, do a promo, compete with us. And if you're not familiar with the setup, I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. So yeah, just anytime.
Give me some time to talk. You give me some time to talk. I'm going to take that. Every second I can get, I'll talk.
Oh yeah.
That'd
be a future match, right? Yeah, you would have TJ Sykes against Nightmare Jones. I want to see that over in the FWWC.
I would love to kick you out of a wheelchair, Joe.
Maybe one day you will get the opportunity. Maybe one day. Thank you, TJ, for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. TJ Sykes, the man that gives me a headache because he is constantly giving me a hard time just because he can. Not because he has to, but just because he can.
And this is why we love you so much in the FWBC. You're the same way. I give you props, man. I love it. I love what you do with your character, and you just give us such a headache, but you're good at what you do. And it shows, man. You're great.
I do. Well, with a little bit of time that we have left, let's go ahead and get into one more high spot segment, and then we can end this thing on a bang.
There you go. Speaking of.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Man.
King Bros past the era of the rude dude way. How effective you think Matt Riddle's heel turn will be in the long run?
I don't think that it is, from what I've seen, I don't really think that it's really working for him anymore. I don't think that it's he's I like Matt Riddle, but he's gone about as far as I think that he's probably gonna go. I don't see him in AEW. I don't see him coming back to WWE. I just I think that he should just stick with MLW and the other wrestling promotions that he's working for, and if it's working for him, then there you go. But I've never really been a fan of Matt Riddle myself. So
he was on TMZ the other day. He stalled. Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. I believe there comes a time where somebody's true color shows, and I don't think a heel turn is necessarily going to help him whatsoever, because when people show their true colors and they showed it in life, you really are that kind of person. You are basically a heel in real life. People don't follow you. A prime example, we'll use Hogan. Hogan was the biggest name in wrestling for so long, and people started realizing how he was backstage, and a lot of his personal issues come to light. And it ruined a lot of what people thought of Hogan, and a lot of people didn't want anything to do with him. They didn't want to, promotions really didn't want to be associated with Hulk Hogan because of the drama and the nonsense that he brought. You almost have, in a way, that CM Punk effect, and I hate to bring him up like that because I respect him. I'll put it that way. I respect CM Punk. I do.
Yeah.
As a person, I just don't like him, and a lot of it was because there was a time frame when he left WWE that he showed his true colors as a person. He bashed the business. He talked so much nonsense that it caused a lot of mess behind the scenes. And it's hard to really shake that image. He was known to be a diva. He was known to be a troublemaker. And once you do that, it's hard for people to look at you as not a real life heel and a prick in person. And I think Matt Riddle's the same way. Matt Riddle has had that effect where people have started to see him as a loudmouth. They're starting to see that he's lazy. Recently, he was late for a booking. He didn't even show up for several shows that he was booked. And when he did show up at some of the ones, he had blitzed out of his mind. And that's the kind of things that really stick with you. It says Riddle wrestles in this area, and I think he is relegated to the Indies for the rest of his career. I agree. And the thing is, with his attitude and his personality now, how much longer is the Indies going to accept him? Your name only gets you so far. Being in WWE only gets you so far. And prime example, back, I'm from South Georgia. I had the honor of being in a ring with a lot of guys that were, let's be honest, has-beens. I'm not going to say no names because I don't want to insult nobody, and God forbid, I definitely don't want a lawsuit with the the Wrestle Talk deal. These guys were former WCW guys. They were guys that was in the NWA. And it was heartbreaking to see them at a point where they would show up at the shows completely drunk. And you didn't trust being in the ring with them. You realize that the nostalgia of who they used to be is not enough anymore. And I think that's the same with Matt Riddle. That nostalgia, that moment of spotlight is just not enough to carry him on anymore. I think you should call it quits and find something else to do. And that's just my personal opinion about the guy. I wish him the best. I think he was a great talent, but it's time to hang it up. I don't think there's nothing left for him, and you'll be lucky to see him in a high school wrestling here in another year. So,
I absolutely agree. Well, Ace, it has been an absolute pleasure hosting the show with you tonight. We are definitely going to be hosting this show with each other in the future. So why don't we, before we end the show, let's go ahead and do our sponsors once again. Retro Zone, Painter Dreams Productions, the independent. Oh, here we go. Retro Zone, Painter Dreams Productions, the Independent St. Louis Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters. I don't know who owns Doomed Outfitters, but somebody does. World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group, where you can compete with the likes of myself and Ace and win championship belts. We have some brand new championship belts that are
That's
being made, and you know, if you're a wrestling fan, and if you're not able to get into the wrestling ring and be a wrestler like myself, it's a perfect opportunity. You get to cut promos. It's a great time.
Oh, definitely. It's a place where you're in complete control of your career, who you want to be, and how far you want to take it. So, guys, it's a great opportunity. It's been a lot of fun, Mr. Jones. Definitely
Yes.
looking forward to doing this again.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the
All
Wrestle
right,
Talk
well,
Podcast. Until next week, peace.
out.